And the next segment, the final one, I want to discuss your work. So far, we've talked about how it will help the individual, but how these ideas can be used to solve problems in society, things like recovery from addiction.
Right.
So I want to understand what is your work on that area, because I think people need to know you're doing some amazing work, and addiction is is considered the largest growing illness in the United States. There's a huge percentage, tens of millions of people who are addicted to various things, and I know in New Jersey there are 2 to 3 deaths per day from overdose per
Wow.
day in just one state, and this is going on all over the country. So this is big epidemic. The government realizes it. The medical people realize it. What to do about it? I think the Western medicine hasn't solved the problem of this kind of addiction. They give them other medicines to replace something, and then they get addicted to the other medicine. Or they put like make them into criminals, and then even if they stay there for 10 years, when they come out, they're still doing the same thing. It doesn't solve the problem. I think you've diagnosed it as some kind of an inner problem that has to be dealt with in an inner process. So can you say a little bit on addiction as you see it?
Yes. So, so our lifestyle is so ego-based that everything that we do to change our life, to improve our life in a social life, married life, work life, we try to improve, but we create stress in the process because it is carried out by the ego, how to become more famous, more recognized, social status, money, power, skills. So ego creates more stress inside to create outside success and achieve more. So that stress causes the addiction. So that means the stress is another name of addiction. Fear is another name of addiction. When you create stress, you create fear also. And the fear-oriented behavior it gets so difficult to live with yourself, with your own mind, with your own fears, with your own loneliness, that it creates that when you take alcohol, drugs, food, or work, you feel a little better, relief from yourself. But that's only temporary solution. So what I teach is how to get rid of stress, which is the main purpose of yoga practice. So I have brought yoga practice, experience of yoga. Sanatana Dharma is relief from self-created suffering, self-created stress that manifests in the form of addiction.
So have you found practice of yoga nidra helping addicts?
So amazing results that people who had a desire to commit suicide, those who were depressed, those who were full of anxiety, they had sleep problems, they had heart problems, there are all many kind of problems. When they take this yoga nidra, they really discover the inner source of infinite peace and love and harmony. And then that begins to erode the self-concepts and belief systems and karmic impressions. And then as they erode the blockages of the energy, they begin to get in touch with the energy. And then energy connects to consciousness. And they find amazing results.
Also, I think one of the problems is people who are suffering from these things have self-esteem issue. And that's because social stigma. The society looks down upon them as if it's a kind of moral problem. Often it is a medical addiction, kind of like some people are prone to some allergy. So, how to restore self-esteem and confidence?
Self-esteem is I call it reactively processed karmic memories in every interaction you have ever had in love life, family life, work life, or social life. That means that as you have wrong impressions about everything you have experienced in different areas of your life. And that is called karma, karmic memories. What is blocking us is who we really are, is our karmic memories. It comes in the form of very compulsive habit patterns, self-destructive behavior patterns. So this yoga is practiced to dismantle those. Therefore, and that is what creates stress. So when you remove stress, the stress-related habits also fall away automatically, because all that, like alcohol or drugs or a work or a food, is complementary to the stress. So temporarily you feel relief from the stress, but it doesn't solve the stress problem. How is this yoga different? How is yoga nidra different? It removes the stress from the core, between the self-image and the self within us, rather than self-image created problems outside of us. So outside problems are called symptoms. The cause is inside. So when 12-step approach, which is called, that is supposed to remove the addiction, so they remove addiction to the alcohol, but the addict, that is self-image, is still continuing to create other addictions.
This is what I wanted to ask you. Someone should write a kind of a yogic version of 12 steps.
I have already started writing.
This is a very big project. I would love to see this happen, and because you see, the demand for this is huge. Demand for this is huge. Now there is this 12 steps book which was written many decades ago, and that is being practiced everywhere. But I see it lacking. They say spirit and they use the word higher power, but I don't think they really have that deep knowledge.
That is what I mean. That's why when the addicts go through the 12 steps, they get rid of the alcohol drinking, but they didn't get rid of the one that created the stress. So the stress now manifests into work or in a sex or in a food, but they don't drink alcohol. But the real thing is higher power. They didn't connect to the higher power within them. That is, again, it starts as a belief.
And they don't have a methodology, they don't have a process.
That's what I have introduced.
They have meetings, and they keep affirming and talking about it, that I believe in this and that.
And it is based on belief,
It is based
not on experience.
Yes, that is the whole thing.
That's a
The
difference.
12-step process is based on belief.
Right.
They make you write down, keep writing that you believe in this and all that, and you agree not to do those things, whatever. But that's not experiential transformation. That's just...
No, but there are some steps that has a very authentic psychological base, but that should take them to go beyond the psychology of the memories of the past, which is called karmic past. Without that, there is no real liberation.
So I think a book of that kind with the proper yogic terminology and vocabulary and principles and exercises, actual experiential exercise, would be a bestseller. I mean, that would be a big hit right now, because the demand for that. The country in the United States is looking for new ideas, because they're dumping billions to solve this addiction problem, and the old methods aren't working. They are temporary fixes here and there, but they're not able to achieve a transformation.
Right.
So they can solve the problem for a little bit, and then the guy's back into it, But one thing I want to ask you is, why are some people more prone to addiction than others, even though if two people consume the same substance? So if two people have 2 glasses of wine, one will get addicted, the other will say, I'm not interested in having any more. One person takes a painkiller and they want more and more. It gives them that high and that feeling. The other one is not wanting to have more.
So the answer is, the person who has pain, when he takes painkiller, it gets rid of pain. Therefore, he wants to repeat it again.
Right.
So stress is also the pain, self-created torture, and hurtful thoughts, feelings, emotions, anger, fear. So when they have that, they use alcohol like a painkiller.
Yeah.
Therefore, they want to use painkiller again and again. That's what causes addiction.
Yeah.
So if you remove stress, addiction will fall away.
Yeah.
So that's why people who have stress, if they drink alcohol, they will get addicted. But one who does not have stress, if they drink alcohol, they won't want it again.
So the hook that keeps the addict stuck to that substance, that thing is stress.
Stress.
Stress. So when that stress is gone, then he can, once in a while, if he has it, it's not going to affect him.
It's not going to affect him. Same thing with food. Food is because it helps them to hide from the painful experiences, suppress them with the food, and insensitivity it creates.
So even one could apply this principle to those who want to eat a lot of dessert,
Same
who are
thing.
overweight, or people who are smokers.
Same thing.
Same.
These are all addictions to different substances.
Because of some kind of, these cravings are a substitute for some fulfillment that they can't get. Some
Exactly.
kind of so this is a substitute for that. For that.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So I think this, insight from the yogic perspective on this huge addiction epidemic would be so fantastic. I mean,
Yes.
this is a,
And I have started writing
this
on it.
should be a bestseller. This will be a bestseller.
This was a long time ago, but now I have.
Oh, this is wonderful. Yogic perspective on the 12 steps. The 12 steps is the very famous method all over the United States and most Western countries on the addiction, how to manage addiction. So you've taken the 12 steps, and then you are listing, you're giving the commentary from the yogic point
From
of
each
view.
step.
On each
See,
step.
but I have, this is 30 years ago I wrote this. Now I have a lot more modifications and detailed explanations.
Could I have a copy? Could I have the copy of this?
Yes, you can
Yeah,
have that.
yeah, this is good. So this is a very interesting, and I would love to see if there's more you have written more recently, more detail, and then exercise after each. You could link it with the Ashtanga Yoga something. Maybe there's
As a way to get rid of stress.
So as each step when they are saying, okay, I agree to do this, then there could be some kind of an exercise to affirm it.
See, it's so practical. That's so beautiful.
Each step
Should
could
have
be
a practical.
what is a yogic exercise for this.
That's a good.
You know,
good one,
it
yes.
could be a breathing, it could be visualization, it could be mantra, it could be today you go and do some work, and while doing this work externally you put your attention on it and you think on something else. So you could also teach what should they do when they get this craving, when there's an attack of craving, rather than reaching out to buy this substance. Right now what they're saying is talk to the buddy or talk to somebody who's your sponsor or a supervisor, and they'll help you out. But they can just sort of talk you into try to talk you out of it and don't do, it's bad for you, it'll cause problems. They really don't have a process. They don't even say, okay, sit and breathe 3 times, do this, do that.
Right. See, that's unique that we offer, and yoga nidra, breath work.
So you could
detoxification.
you could
program.
have a particular yoga nidra for addicts.
Right.
You could record a particular yoga nidra for addicts. You could even say, if you're going through this step 1, then this is the tape you visualize, and you give them the tape. And the step 2, this is the tape you visualize, and you're sort of deprogramming, getting rid of what that particular step is trying to achieve.
That's beautiful.
You could have
Look how creative.
you could have 12 videos or 12 audios for each of the 12 steps and other exercises that they do. So when they're going for their Narcotics Anonymous or Alcoholic Anonymous meetings, they can actually, those guys, there are thousands of these meetings going on. There are millions of these people there. This kind of a product would be a very important product.
I know.
And this product would ought to get some award because it could probably save lives.
Right.
So I have really enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And I'm glad to be here for my own, we are talking about the world, but I want to be here for my own benefit also. And so for the next few days, I'm going to enjoy.
And now this is detox program,
This is detox.
which we have included in the recovery program.
Fantastic.
For people.
Yeah, I'm a workaholic, and so every once in a while I need to come and workaholic is also an addiction.
Yes.
Some kind of an addiction, I don't know. But I just want to work and produce things that I promised to people and produce this outcome and produce that outcome. And I have a hard time saying, okay, it's too much work, I don't want to do it. So maybe one day, you have to help me figure out, okay, I should just get out of that. But then I should not say that because people will think that I'm getting out of it, which I don't intend to. But maybe I can transform the work in such a way that I don't really, it's not so big a deal.
Right. That is what. See, I live in the midst of all the activities, but I'm not affected by it.
Fantastic.
It is like how to live connected to the witnessing the modifications of mind all along the way. that keeps me out of the trouble I create for myself.
That's real freedom.
Right,
Because it's the freedom from all of those things.
right.
And with freedom, you can do all the things you want to. And not
Right,
be
because I see that when I see somebody and I don't like it, or something that I don't like it, it is my reactive thoughts. It's not really happening there. I am creating in my own mind. Now, that is what I write about. That's what I teach people. How to be free from yourself. Get out of your own way is the basic teaching.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wonderful to talk to you and have
Thank
this
you.
conversation. So nice.
You're an amazing presenter and this amazing interview. I'm so happy. Thank you for coming and trying to bring this out to people who do not know how the real yoga works and so on.
And thank you for your 60 years, 50 to 60 years of huge seva to the world. And very moving, very important, and we should resolve to continue this.
Thank you.
And we'll have more conversations like this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Namaste.